What up, YouTube? Webhead Mike here, and I know it's been a while, but I decided to get back into the swing of it by continuing on my Zenkaikon LARP story. The next chapter was the Feathery Dust-Up. Now, continuing from last time, this was one of the bigger episodes, and I knew this because I was going to get to use my mech. Suzaku Kururugi was going to get to use the Lancelot, finally be the devicer he was meant to be, and sure enough, we got there. We ended up fighting Woden Ymir. There was a lot of people doing a lot of creative things, like Robin Hood from the old Disney cartoon, you know, the fox. He was there and he was able to provide a sufficient distraction for much of fighting against Woden Ymir, and then eventually the next boss to follow. It was really nice to see quite a wide array of skills being implemented beyond just combat in this. Now, of course, Suzaku Kururugi, in this case, my guy, was designed to do combat. He was in his mech doing combat. And immediately everyone thought, oh my god, you're bringing the mech to this, what are you doing? It's gonna wreck everything. I'm like, no. Nightmare frames are 1 story, maybe 1.5 stories tall. It's like a car or a truck with legs. It's not that big. But still, there was no penalty for size limitations in the dungeon we were crawling through. And we ended up fighting, as I said, Woden Ymir again proper. He wasn't going to be bamfing away and replicating something somewhere else. No, it was just him we were fighting. And we were also fighting his 2 lieutenants. I think they were called Thrugelmirs. I think so. Yeah. They also employed a regeneration technology, but we were able to out-damage the rate at which they were able to naturally regenerate. Some people, however, still got the idea of trying to invade where the nanites would replicate to try to disrupt them. And I'm sure that's a fine idea, but you don't want to put yourself there, because what's going to happen is they will just simply eliminate you to do their job. Now, this was a lesson I learned from this GM's previous games that he ran me through. And I tried that once or twice and I realized, okay, I was able to survive, but because of dumb luck. So next time, whenever I do this, I'm going to instead put something inorganic in there so it will still disrupt, but I don't have to put myself in jeopardy. Simple solution. Made this anyway. So we got through the lieutenants, we got past Woden Ymir, all of which was still able to happen in my Lancelot. It was able to do the brunt of the work in terms of damage throughout everything. Then we finally got to the main boss, the Magus herself. And this is when she went through a body horrific transformation to go into her next stage. A pseudo-dragon, I guess is the word I would use, because she was trying to emulate this fantastic creature through replicating other live creatures, such as lizards, birds. But it ended up just becoming a grotesque mockery of life in this attempt to simulate something fantastical. And it was still a harrowing fight to go through, but I got to use every bit of my character, and even other people still, like I said previously, were making solid implements outside of direct combat to even help in combat. Again, people were providing excellent distractions throughout this. And even Darkwing Duck activated his ability, let's get dangerous, to make everyone better in combat. And then on top of that, because it was a life-threatening situation, Suzaku Kururugi's Gias to Live triggered. So Suzaku not only had better initiative, better combat stats, on top of being dangerous thanks to Darkwing Duck. So when the battle got to a certain point when the boss would naturally retaliate every time it was attacked, that's when everyone began to think, oh no, we should stop attacking it, and then we should try to find something else to do. But no, not me. I hear that, and I hear, oh, you need to double and then redouble your efforts, because the boss is realizing it's in danger, so you have to go even more dangerously. And sure enough, Suzaku was the perfect character and in the perfect position to capitalize on that, because again, his Gias to live triggered when the retaliation would occur, so he was able to better evade the retaliation. And still outpace, and his damage was still able to outpace the regeneration of the Magus. So eventually, we were able to whittle the boss down, and then we encountered an artifact, the Feather. Now, I believe it was some Hololive or idol that was able to finally deal a final blow with maybe a sonic scream or something. But she was holding the feather, and it was very clumsy in her hand, and that's when they read the description of a true warrior can unlock its potential. And that's when I, as Suzaku, strode over, saying, well, I understand you claim that. However, it states a warrior can unlock its potential. Would you mind if I went through it? You know, do a few quick forms with it, see if it's got anything else to come into play. And sure enough, it did. The idol was kind enough to let Suzaku go through a few flourishes with it, and found out that he was able to unlock it from a simple rapier form to a broadsword or greatsword or war sword form. So from there on, they said, you know what, Suzaku, maybe you should have this. Inuyasha was also there. He decided to take a stab at it. Again, same effect, but because he already had Tetsuga, he said, you know what, Suzaku, I think it's right that you should hold on to it too. And this was very significant because this was an artifact that would come into play later during the denouement, or the climax of the day's episodes. So yeah, I was just a new person to this LARP experience, and I got to roleplay well as this character, because not only did I have to explain why someone with a Japanese-sounding name was a Knight of the Round in the Holy Britannian Empire, I also got to fully utilize my mech, my abilities, in combat and out, and got to hold on to an artifact that was going to be significant for future episodes. So yeah, another cool experience at Zenkaikon. Next up, I'll leave that for a little bit of a tease going forward. I think there was something about the Sanctuary of Bahamut. But anyway, I've already gone on long enough. I thank you for your time. Please consider liking and subscribing. And until next time, Webhead Mike, out.